This is Walter Cronkite back in our CBS newsroom in New York. We will be returning to Washington, of course, very shortly. But this is to report again that Lee Harvey Oswald, the 24-year-old Marxist pro-Castroite who Dallas police said they had a cinch case against as the accused assassin of President Kennedy, was himself shot to death in Dallas an hour and a half ago. He was shot in the basement of the city jail as police attempted to transfer him from that jail where he had been held since the assassination to the county jail a few blocks away. The police captured a man at the scene who reporters saw shoot Oswald and have booked him. They say his name is Jack Ruby, or Rubenstein. He is 52 years old, a bachelor, a Dallas nightclub operator who, as far as anyone has been able to find out, had no particular political opinions. Rubenstein, or Ruby, as he is known there, had been in Dallas some 10 years. He left an automobile just outside the entrance to the basement, leaped a 3-foot fence, and with perfect timing dashed into an open door of the basement just as Oswald was led from an elevator from the upstairs jail toward an armored car that had been brought to the jail for special precautions in moving him to the county building. Ruby, if that it turns out to be the man involved in the murder of Oswald, ran forward right up to Oswald and from less than a foot away fired a small caliber pistol. The bullet did mortal damage to Oswald, who apparently never regained consciousness. He was taken to Parkland Hospital and died an hour and 15 minutes after he was shot in an emergency room just 10 feet from the room where President Kennedy had died almost exactly 48 hours before. And now let's go down to Dallas and Dan Rather.
In Dallas, with Lee Oswald, the man accused of assassinating President Kennedy, dead, the big question now is, what kind of man shot Lee Oswald, and why? We have in the studios of our affiliate station KRLD-TV here in Dallas, Bill DeMar, who is a nightclub MC, a comedian by profession. Bill worked in the nightclub owned by Jack Ruby. Jack Rubenstein is his real name, known in Dallas circles as Jack Ruby. Bill, how long had you been working at the Carousel Club owned by Jack Rubenstein?
This time about 2 weeks.
You had worked for him before, had you?
3 times before. This is my 4th time here.
The Carousel Club is located right in downtown Dallas. What kind of place is it?
Well, it's a nightclub that has about 5 or 6 exotic dancers and a small combo.
Is it a pretty rough place?
No. There's a lot of people that have said to me when they came up to me after shows or between shows that they liked the place because it was intimate.
What kind of man is Jack Rubenstein?
Well, if you know him, he's a pretty good type guy. He always treated me right, and we always got along real well. I consider him more of a friend than an employer.
Is he an extrovert? Is he a handshaking, backslapping, rather loud type person?
In a way, yes. Kind of impulsive. He'd change from one thing to the other. On times, do things, out of the clear blue.
You say rather impulsive?
At times.
Could you give us an example of what you would consider some impulsive action?
No, his mind is always working, always going, and he'd be possibly talking to you about one thing, and then all of a sudden he'd take off on something else.
Is he married?
No, he never has been, to my knowledge. It seems that he mentioned to me before, he's never married, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke.
There have been some reports that he came to Dallas from Chicago. Do you know anything about that?
No, I don't.
Does he have a police record of which you're aware?
Not that I know of.
Did it surprise you when you heard this morning that he possibly fired the shots which wound up killing Lee Oswald?
Definitely. I was very shocked and very saddened that Jack would even be involved. But I don't know, the fact that he had closed the club so definitely like he did, putting up a sign saying closed and taking the pictures out of the front of the club, and not calling me, notifying me that he had closed. he had somebody else call, but I never got the message.
Now, when was this? He called when to tell you the club was closed?
He didn't call me.
I see.
He had somebody else call me.
When was this?
Friday. When I'd heard about the news of the president, I reluctantly got ready to go to work because I hadn't got the message that he had closed. They'd failed to deliver the message to me, and so I got ready to go to work and got down there and saw the sign on the front saying closed. I drove around the other two clubs. They were closed, but they had no notice.
Does he own two more clubs in town?
No, the other two burlesque clubs that are near there.
I see. Do you know anything about Jack Rubenstein's political philosophies?
No, he never spoke about anything. When we go for breakfast afterwards or anything, the only thing he talked about was business.
Did you ever hear him say anything about President Kennedy?
Never.
Do you know Lee Oswald? Have you ever seen him?
To my knowledge, if I recollect correctly, I saw him in the audience last week.
Lee Oswald in the audience at
Yes.
the club, at the Carousel
Yes.
Club, which is owned by Jack Rubenstein?
Yes.
That would have been about how many days ago?
8, 9.
Do you remember the specific instance? What happened with Oswald in the club? Was he simply in the audience?
No, I was doing a memory routine, and I use about 20 people in the audience and have them call out an object. And then at random, I call the objects back to them. Whoever wants their object called first or second, whatever the case may be. And it seems to me he was one of the people, after seeing his picture in the paper, I remember seeing him in the audience as one of the people that gave me an object.
Did Jack Rubenstein speak with Oswald, to your knowledge?
No, I didn't see him. I don't think Jack even knew he was in there.
You don't think Rubenstein knew that Oswald was in the club? It's such a strange coincidence that he would be in the club. Do you think it possible that Rubenstein knew him?
I don't think so. I don't know for sure.
Could you possibly be mistaken about Oswald?
Being in the club?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I remember the face, and I do remember faces.
In your own mind, you're certain it was Oswald?
Yes.
Have you made an effort to see Jack Rubenstein since the shooting this morning?
No, I had thought about going down there now because, like I say, he's more of a friend than an employer, and I did want to see him.
Before all this happened, would you have thought that Rubenstein was the type of man capable of such violence?
No. Jack acted a little harshly sometimes, but nothing like this. I wouldn't have thought he did anything like this.
What do you mean he acted harshly sometimes? In dealing with his employees?
No, when employees and sometimes customers, if they got a little out of hand, why, he was ready to put them out.
Do you know whether he carried a gun on his person as a matter of general course?
Yes. He carried it in a bag when he went back and forth to work.
What kind? Have you seen this pistol?
Yes, I saw it once a little over a year ago, last time I was here.
What kind of pistol was it then?
A little sharp nose, a very small little pistol. He only carried it when he went back and forth to work, though. I never saw him carrying it on him, anything like that. Just in the bag as protection because he was carrying the money.
We have a police photograph that I think we can pick up on camera of the accused man, Jack Rubenstein. Let's see if we can get that picture of Rubenstein on camera. We've been speaking with Bill DeMar, a professional entertainer who has been a master of ceremonies at the Carousel Club in downtown Dallas, a club owned by Jack Rubenstein. Bill, there have been some reports that Rubenstein did own, either now or sometime in the recent past, another club in town. Do you know anything about that?
The Vegas.
The old Vegas Club.
Yeah,
is it still in operation?
It was until he closed it because of the president's death.
But so far as you know, he did own that club in addition to the Carousel?
Yes. To my knowledge, he did.
Do you ever recall seeing any unsavory characters, people that you might associate with the underworld around the club?
No.
Let's see now if we can get the picture, the police picture of Jack Rubenstein. It's a profile and a head-on shot of the man accused of assassinating the man who was accused of assassinating President Kennedy. This is Dan Rather in Dallas, Texas. Back now to Walter Cronkite in New York.
There were many witnesses to the shooting of Oswald, allegedly by Jack Rubenstein. One of them was a Detective Combest who knew Rubenstein very well. He said he saw him charging into the garage just as Oswald was being taken from the elevator to the armored car. He said he knew what he was going to do, tried desperately to stop him, shouted an epithet at him to stop, but was too late in reaching Ruby's side, and the shot was fired. Repeating what you have been told in the last few minutes, Lee Harvey Oswald, the man Dallas police accused of killing President Kennedy, has himself been killed, shot in the basement of the Dallas jail. We will now return to Washington.
The man Dallas police accuse of assassinating Lee Oswald was known in Dallas as Jack Ruby, not taking his real name, the name he carried in Chicago before he came to Dallas in 1948, of Jack Rubenstein. This is a police mug photo of Jack Rubenstein. Through the facilities of affiliate station KRLD-TV in Dallas, CBS News this morning had a live camera in the basement of the Dallas City Police Station when Lee Oswald, after 2 days of questioning, was in the process of being brought from the Dallas City Police Station, the city jail, to the county jail. Now, this was the scene.
This is the basement floor of the Dallas City Hall, and that's a scuffle on the basement floor. It seems to concern photographers.
He has been shot. Oswald has been shot.
Lee Oswald.
Oswald has been
we're
shot.
going to switch now.
Police are pulling.
We're going to switch now to Bob Hofhacker down in the basement of the courthouse, who is close to the scene. Go ahead, Bob.
Lee Harold Oswald has been shot.
All right, I'm going outside.
Now, we're going to run a film that was taken by cameraman George Phoenix, in the basement of the Dallas City Jail. Now, it's very important that you watch on the right-hand corner of your screen the hat. There'll be a hat appearing on the right-hand corner of your screen. Keep your eye on the man in that hat. Now, here is the film taken in the basement. You'll see that hat start to move now. That's Lee Oswald, dark-haired, short. The hat begins to move. Now moves in front of Oswald. Shot sounds. And Oswald lurches. And the crowd starts to move in. Now, just after Oswald was shot and Jack Ruby was hustled back into the police station, Oswald was rushed to Dallas's Parkland Hospital, the same hospital that President Kennedy was taken to on Friday. Again today, there was almost disbelief among Dallasites as the word spread as to what had happened. It was almost unbelievable that Oswald himself had been shot in the very basement of the police station. We have film of Oswald's arrival at Dallas's Parkland Hospital. By the time he got there, already a small crowd had started to gather, and by the time he had been there just a very few moments, a rather large crowd had gathered. Oswald was alive when he reached Dallas's Parkland Hospital. Here's a police car leading the ambulance in. This ambulance comes to the same emergency exit, an emergency entrance to which President Kennedy was brought on Friday. Through the same entrance now goes the man accused of assassinating the president. Oswald was moving, still alive at this point. Brought down the same corridor down which President Kennedy had been brought on Friday. Police sealed off the area. Oswald was taken to an emergency room directly across the hall from the one to which President Kennedy had been brought on Friday. The ambulance driver who brought Oswald from the Dallas City Jail had about all he could handle with newsmen who were frantically trying to get some kind of details and some kind of order in the way of a story out of the confusion which followed the shooting. As I say, a large crowd gathered at the Parkland Hospital within moments after Oswald's arrival. Actually, some of the crowd had gotten there before Oswald. Now Oswald's wife, child, are led into the emergency room. His Russian-born wife, who speaks very little English. This is a shot of the emergency room where President Kennedy died on Friday. It is identical to the emergency room to which Lee Oswald was brought this morning. The Oswald emergency room, the one to which he was brought, directly across the hall from this one. Now, within moments after Oswald was brought to the hospital, the emergency room area was sealed off to reporters, but the staff of Parkland Hospital, operating today as they did Friday, made an obvious effort to keep the news media and in turn the nation informed on just exactly the condition of their patient. And within a few minutes after Oswald was brought in, a member of the staff at the Parkland Hospital made an announcement concerning Oswald's condition and telling where the wound was located.
Dr. Tom Shires, Chief of Surgery at Parkland Memorial Hospital and Southwestern Medical School, advises me that Lee Oswald is currently undergoing surgery for a single gunshot wound that entered on his left side and did not exit. The patient is in extremely critical condition. Dr. Shires will make a personal statement when the surgery has been completed.
A short while after that announcement was made, it was announced that some 12 doctors were working feverishly over Lee Oswald in the Parkland Hospital. But then, a short while after that, at Dallas Police Headquarters, Police Chief Jesse Curry came out to make this announcement.
My statement will be very brief. Oswald expired at 1:07 p.m. He died at 1:07 p.m. We have arrested the man. The man will be charged with murder.
Who is he?
The suspect's name is Jack Rubenstein, I believe. He goes by the name of Jack Ruby. That's all I have to say.
Why did you advertise the time he was going to leave here and then stick to it?
Chief, does this man have a criminal record in this
I have no other statements to make at this time.
Could you repeat that once more, just what you told us, Stephen? We missed it then. A little bit louder.
I only said that Oswald expired at 1:07 p.m. The man who shot him has been arrested and will be charged with murder.
Who is he? What's his name? That's all we need to.
The man's name is Jack Ruby. He goes by the name of Jack Ruby. He's a local Dallas man. His real name is Rubenstein.
Just let us out, please.
Did he give us a motive, Chief?
That was Police Chief Jesse Curry of the Dallas Police Department with the announcement that Jack Rubenstein was the real name of the man who is accused of firing the shot into Lee Oswald, the shot that killed Lee Oswald. We have with us Eddie Barker, who is the news director of our affiliate station in Dallas, KRLD-TV, and a longtime Dallas resident. Eddie, we have some questions concerning the Dallas Police Department. And this morning it appeared that they were taking every possible precaution to prevent just exactly what did happen. Do you have any thoughts on how it happened, why it happened?
Well, as I understand it, Dan, and I think we discussed this earlier, apparently Jack Ruby had been around for the last few days following very closely what transpired after the death of the president. As far as the situation down there this morning, as you know, they were trying to get this armored car in to haul him out. And the only question that came to my mind is there are paddy wagons, small paddy wagons that would serve the same purpose that easily get into that tunnel down at police headquarters. And my only question would be why a car other than one of the regular police vehicles might have been used. Well, I think there was a long walk, as you know, from where he had come out of the building down to where he would have entered the truck.
Well, Police Chief Curry, of course, said that he was going to take every possible precaution, and it's obvious that he thought that the armored car was just an extra precaution. But as you point out, perhaps it would have, in looking back, been easier to use a regular paddy wagon. Did you know the man, Jack Ruby? Do you know him?
I have met him, yes. He's been around a long time. He had one violation here, a state liquor law violation for selling beer after hours in 1955, December of 1955.
I understand he came to Dallas from Chicago in 1948.
That's correct. He was born in Chicago in 1911.
Is this the only police record that he had here?
This is the only record that we have been able to run down to this time. However, a further check may bring up something else. But the only record that we were able to run down on him so far is the liquor law violation in 1955.
We have some notes gathered from CBS newsmen in the field.
Incidentally, I might say that he has a sister here.
I was just going to say that we have someone, either on your staff or ours, has spoken with Mrs. Eva Grant, who is a sister to Jack Rubenstein. Mrs. Grant describes her brother as a very patriotic sort of man, with no particular political leanings other than he was always very outspoken for the man who was president at any particular time. I think she made the point that he was very pro-Kennedy, but he had been very pro-Eisenhower for that matter. And that she also said he was quite upset about the assassination of President Kennedy on Friday. He had closed both of his clubs, that is the Vegas Club, which we understand he owned, and the Carousel Club, which I believe he operated. Someone else owns it, is our understanding. She said he was a very generous man, but also extremely outgoing, extroverted. And that's the picture we have on Jack Rubenstein at the moment. That's the story from Dallas on the assassination of the man accused of assassinating President Kennedy. This is Dan Rather with Eddie Barker in Dallas. Back now to CBS News headquarters in New York.
And here is an Associated Press still picture of the moment, the split second, as the shot was fired. This is the man Dallas police have identified as Jack Rubenstein, and this, of course, is Lee Harvey Oswald. You see the gun in the hand of Ruby and just about to be fired. The doctors at Parkland Hospital said that the single shot could scarcely have done more damage to a body than that shot did to Lee Harvey Oswald. It penetrated his spleen, his pancreas, the aorta, the kidney, and the liver. A massive injury and massive bleeding also led to his death. The Justice Department has dispatched an Assistant Attorney General, Jack Miller, to Dallas to confer further there with police authorities. They say at the moment they do not know how they will treat the case, whether they will look for further suspects now or consider the case closed now that Oswald himself is dead. And we just have a bulletin in here that says police have arrested a roommate of nightclub owner Jack Ruby. The man identified as George Senator. The senator had appeared voluntarily and was being questioned, but now apparently has been arrested, although no charges have been filed. We don't know what the significance of that bulletin is as yet. The city of Dallas, which in the last 48 hours has seen the assassination of President Kennedy, and then today the murder of the man who was accused by Dallas police of carrying out that assassination, Lee Harvey Oswald, is a city racked this afternoon apparently with telephoned threats against various figures in the situation down there. Whether these are crank threats or not, of course, police have no way of knowing. There was one just a short while ago to the home of Mayor Cabell of Dallas, who was en route to Dallas Airport to take a plane to Washington for the funeral services, along with Judge Sarah Hughes, who administered the oath of office to President Lyndon Johnson 99 minutes after President Kennedy's death on Friday. That call, that telephoned anonymous threat to the home of Mayor Cabell resulted in extra police precautions at Dallas Airport, where they held up the flight to offload all of the luggage to check it against any possibility of a bomb being placed aboard. There also was a telephone threat to a lawyer who had defended Jack Rubenstein, the man accused of the murder of Lee Oswald. The threat telephoned to his home after the attorney had appeared on television to say that he would defend Rubenstein if he was asked to be his attorney. This threat said that if he did defend Rubenstein, he would be next, as the threat went. All anonymous telephone calls, and there is no particularly any significance as yet being placed on that. We reported earlier that the homicide chief, Captain Will Fritz of the Dallas Police Department, feels that the case is closed with the death of Lee Harvey Oswald. He has said all along that the evidence against Oswald was conclusive and final, that he had no accomplices, although he acknowledges that Oswald did not say anything either during interrogation or in the hour and 15 minutes he lived after the bullet was sent into his body in the basement of the Dallas police station as they were trying to take him from the city jail to the county jail. And of course, the U.S. Secret Service and the FBI has not been heard from yet as to whether they would consider the case closed. And as far as we know, their investigation is continuing. As a matter of fact, Captain Fritz says that they will continue to dig up evidence against Oswald, and in that sense, the case is not closed.